Welcome to Gary's Hobby Studio. In this video, I'm going to go over what should have happened 2 weeks ago. But a couple of things happened, and that's why it didn't get done. Um, the reason why, and I ran into this, is for some reason, Proxmox 8 does not like this machine. Now, I did install 7. I'm going to go through the process of upgrading it to 8 through the command line. You'll see it firsthand. Hopefully it'll go. Hopefully it won't cause any problems because this is the first time. I haven't even upgraded my production machines to it. There's been a lot of talk, because I've seen a couple of videos and stuff where people are talking about that for some reason Proxmox 8's not that stable. And I want to say it has to deal with Debian 12 because I think it's based off of that. Because I had some issues. I don't know if it's the hardware, the one RS-140 Lenovo server. I've been having problems with it. But then again, I also put Debian 11 on it, which is not what Proxmox 8 uses. And for some dumb reason, it was still acting goofy. So that I have to investigate if it's hardware related or something else. I don't know what I'm going to have to put on it. But let me get logged in here. Yes, we know we don't have a repository. Woo! Anyway. So basically, I also have to set up repositories. So I'll go ahead and say it's here. Yeah. So we want to disable that and add the no subscription repository. Okay, and we're going to first update this to the latest, and then we're going to go and then update it to, there we go, updates. Jesus. At least maybe we will. Who knows? EVE 7 to 8. This sucks. I know it's got an internet connection. All right, I'm going to try rebooting this stupid thing. This only happens, well, no, I can't say it only happens to me. I've seen a few others on YouTube where this kind of shit happens. And it could just be the compatibility of the hardware, but I know I updated the firmware on this thing. And I'm not sure what its issue is. I know I found a bad network cable on this thing. All right, so it's back up. So let's see what it does now. Oh boy. What the fuck is going on? Okay, so you have a connection. Ugh. Everything's enabled, so I don't know what the hell is going on. But the weird thing is I can go out to the internet without any problems, as you can see here. So I'm not understanding what the hell is up with this fucking machine. And I don't get it. I'm not understanding what the hell is going on. Because for some ungodly reason, which I have no idea why, it works. As you saw, I could ping one of Google's DNS servers. So my head is just hurting. This has been like a major pain in my ass since starting this 2 weeks ago. And the only reason why I wanted to do this is so that way my wife could play games that are more compatible with Windows XP. And I thought I had my XP hacked copy, but I don't know if it's in the one thing in the closet or not. I have to look for that. But I know I could probably get the games to run on Windows 7 without a problem. They'll either run natively or I have to trick it into telling it to run it as this in the properties, which either way it should work. And it has a graphics card that I'm going to configure to it. So this is going to be something that I'm going to have to look into further as to what the fuck is wrong with this thing. Oh. And this is why IT guys probably drink. I wish I could. It's not that I can't. Well, I can't because of the fact is, and I haven't mentioned this really to anybody or anything. But I am a touch diabetic. I take metformin, and to try to keep my sugar levels down, I wasn't a big drinker beforehand, even though I would love to drink every time shit like this went wrong, both here and at work. But I was never a really big drinker, and now with this, I'm pretty much, I don't touch the stuff at all now. This is the kind of stuff that happens, and it can sometimes really drive you frickin' batty. So, considering I'll be working on this probably for a touch longer, there'll be other projects that'll come up while I'm diagnosing that thing. Okay, well, I changed the DNS after I ended the video, and now it seems like update packages came up, which I really don't understand why the fuck that shit didn't work. But here we go. Hopefully it'll won't take too long to update. Which is weird because, again, my computer was working fine, but then again, it's probably smarter than this damn thing. Because this is Windows. I mean, Linux is supposed to be better than Windows, and I don't know why the hell this did that. But we're going to update it to whatever the latest version of this is. I need to check my virtual servers for that, and then hopefully we'll be able to flip and flipping update it to 8. At least you'll get to see that. If I do manage to do that, the next video that'll be after that is me installing 7 and showing how to configure the PCIe pass-through and see if it works. I need to find another graphics card to put in this thing so that it'll have 2 of them in there, because the next thing is putting in a Linux distribution, say Debian 12, and installing the Plex player through it. Because again, I seriously doubt if I'm going to buy another Xbox. I think what I have at home is it. Once support for it runs out, that'll be it. Because then the apps won't get updated. And once Plex Media Player gets moved beyond what it is, then it just won't work. It won't work with the newer versions. Although with the way it's going, I'm about to revert it back. So I don't know how much of this is going to work. And I was thinking about creating a VLAN to attach this and any of the other devices I have in the living room on its own VLAN, so that way they're not on the main network, like my TV, my Xbox, and it's the Xbox One S, one of the older models, and this. And then that way I'll minimize threats against the system. Oh, I'll have to look at that port and see why the DNS doesn't work, because it points the DNS on this system here on my computer points to the gateway IP 192.168.100.1, and it's working fine. As you saw, I was able to go to Proxmox's webpage to show you I could at least do that. Apparently, this isn't smart enough to do that, even though I set the DNS to the same as that, and don't have any idea why. All right, so looks like it's back up and running. All right, so we're up to this. So let's see if we can do what I tried to do. PVE 7 to 8. Okay. So pass. No NVIDIA GPU service found. So basically, at a total 6 skipped, because it'll do a check, and you'll see some other warnings and stuff. And the reason being is because I don't have any virtual machines running on this right now. So with that out of the way, let's see. And I don't know how in the world. I mean, at least it's working better than what it was before. Okay, so we have to update all of this here. So we'll do this. All right. And we'll do this. Now I don't have Ceph, so this here I don't have to do. Now, if you have Ceph, I would definitely recommend that you do the steps that are on this. Okay, so that's updated. Okay. Now we do apps. All right. You know, the old saying's true. It's always DNS. Not always, but in this situation, it was definitely DNS. I just don't understand why pfSense didn't do that, and because I have this set for a direct port. Like I have 4 ports, and the reason being is so that I can keep my main network on one. I keep the main network on one. I have an IoT network. Well, that's a VLAN that actually runs through that there. And all right, so why the hell is this happening? So apparently you'll get this. So, you know, you select your keyboard layout. Mine is definitely English. All that for that, right? Default action is to keep current version. Considering this is a new install with nothing, I'm just going to let it overwrite everything. Yes, do that. So anyways, sorry about that. I had to think about what the hell was going on. But basically, I have a 4-porter. You know, I have 4 network ports, and this is what I need. One port is obviously the internet coming in. The next port is for the main network, which runs my entire house, you know. One port is for this kind of stuff to test out with. It's not on the main network. That way, less likely anything happens. And then there's the one for the Verizon cable modem so that I still get my channel guide and everything. I still need to figure out what I have to do to pfSense to allow caller ID traffic through because it's definitely blocking that. And I'll leave a link to, well, I won't leave a link to it. I'll just tell you. When I was working on my floor in this room and we switched everything, you know, I took all this stuff out. There's videos on my channel if you want to watch it. And I definitely did all the work myself. It took me 4 months to do it. and you can see the progression over time. Um, we connected everything back up to the Verizon modem, and all of a sudden the caller ID worked. It would show it on the TV screen, so that way we didn't have to get up to get the phone. Well, for some reason, when I switched it back over to pfSense, it seems like it's blocking that information. And I'm sure there's a way to pass it through. I don't know what I would have to do. And I've searched for it. I just haven't put that much effort in it because really, 9 times out of 10, when my house phone rings, I don't answer it anyways because usually it's somebody, trying to scam me, trying to, get me to donate or, God only knows what. Um, how about those people that call donate to me? But anyway, so, and that's why I have the 4 ports, because this way, and I've limited the speed on the Verizon modem because it doesn't need a gigabit connection just to pull down the information for the channel guide on the TV for the DVR and everything. So that's what I did. I think I gave it like 5 million bits per second. I give my IoT net VLAN 5 million bits per second because that's all it needs. And I have a guest Wi-Fi network. That's all handled by the Unify controller and everything for those VLANs and stuff. And I have that set so that, you know, the guest network is only 5 million bits per second because, again, you're there to visit with me, not like, use Snapchat or any of that BS. If you guys don't want to visit me, you'd rather play on your phone, hey, do yourself a favor. Don't come over to my house. But I'm going to go ahead and pause it because we're at about 15 minutes with this add-on, which I'll be editing out a lot of the stuff previously, but I'll leave that stuff at the end of what happened. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this for now until this is done. All right. So it is rebooting right now. Let me switch over to that because that's where it's at. I have to wait for it to start back up, and then I'll refresh, log in, and then you should see it go from 7.4-17 to 8.0 or whatever the point is at. I don't know if it's 0 or 1 or God only knows. All right, so we are now at the login screen on the machine. Refreshing. Hey, we're at 8.0.9. Which is shocking. I did not have to re-log in. And as you can tell, the interface has changed a little bit. Not by a whole lot. But yeah, so now you got to see basically and at least how to upgrade it anyways. I will probably have to do the same thing on my production servers over there. But basically, if you run into I'm always going to keep at least one old copy of the ISO for these from now on when it's transitioning over, especially Proxmox, just because of the fact that in the case of this machine here, it definitely did not like 8 at all install wise. I had to do 7, and then I showed you how to do 8. And all you have to do is just, like I said, you can search for upgrade from what version to this version, and it'll give you the steps. And pretty much, everything worked without a problem, which is nice. I actually like that. Didn't run into any problems. The only thing that's going to bother me a little bit is doing my production servers because I can shut all the VMs down and then upgrade it so that way nothing's running, reboot it, and then bring it back up. Let me see. There might be. I'm going to see if there's any new updates for it. Who knows? it should have pulled everything down. And it just finished. And yeah, there's nothing. So, so I finally got Proxmox installed. The next video is going to be me setting up Windows 7 or XP if I find my original XP. I think I threw it away. I was cleaning out a lot of old shit, and I think I got rid of that. The only thing I do have is an actual. This says for PCs without Windows or PCs with Windows 95 and an earlier version. So maybe I might be able to use this. It just depends. I'll have to try it and see what happens. Worst case scenario is I can't get this installed and I have to use or I have to use the Windows 7 copy that I have here. And I know there's a site where you can grab the updates for them since Microsoft shut them off, so you can't pull them down from their site, but somebody has them. I saw a thing, and that'll be in the next video. But yeah, I've rambled on long enough. So as I always like to say, have a good day, guys. Take care. Have a very happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate it, or whatever you celebrate at this particular time of the year. And if you don't, hey, have a good long weekend, especially if your job gives you off Thursday and Friday. So have a good day, guys. Take care. See you next time.